Mic check one, mic check two. If you're watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people time to tune in. Woo, I'm here, guys. I am here. I am here. I am here. And my lenses are dirty as usual, and I don't think I got nothing to clean them. Oh, come on, come on. No, well, I don't have anything. Not tonight. I don't have my eye itch though. Let's get some water. Let's do something different. So we got the stream going. We gonna get started kind of on time tonight. I was real close to 10:55. So there's a few things I could do while I'm doing this. The market was crazy. It's definitely showing that it wasn't no simple little pullback the way it's tearing them the semiconductor industry and the storage industry up like we talked about this weekend, but nobody want to listen to me. I tried to told you. All right, let's get this social stream ninja going. Get these chats set up. Okay, we looking good over here. Got it. All right, let's do a test message to see how that goes. And bam. The first one didn't go through. Second one did. Okay, so let's delete that. Let's see what else I want to do. I want to make sure I give a special shout out to Ripped Joe. They helped me out last night because I had a bunch of mess going on last night. Messing up. I had the wrong date for I had the wrong date. I kept putting June in for a lot of the scheduled live streams. Like the actual stream was scheduled right, but in the title I had June instead of July. So they helped me out and I appreciate them for that. And I'm gonna give them a special shout out right now before I forget. About to give them a special shout out right now. Paste. Bam. And that is just for YouTube. So it'll show up on YouTube. Here we go. All right. So that's that. And I want to put in the chat about thanks sis for sharing the live stream on Facebook. I think that's what that is. Let me go ahead and cut this phone off so that won't go off no more in the live stream. All right, let's see what we got over here. I want to put this link in these videos. So let me put in the live stream. Let's talk about videos. Let me do another videos. We go to restream. So this is going to go to all channels except X. So I'm gonna have to manually go over to X. So this is about SpaceX, guys. I did a great video on SpaceX that I dropped late Saturday night. Okay, so SpaceX is down to where it hit the market at, and a lot of people are feeling the heat about it. I think it closed below 150 today. So I did a video on it. I've been talking about it for the last 3 weeks about what was going to take place. And so you can check that out and all that other good stuff. So what else do I have going on that I want to get a set up before we start the show? I know what I want to do. I want to go to X. I want to go X and put this link over there as well. Go to Ninja Chat. We don't have to pin that. Oh, I know what to do. Yep. So here is the current video. Let's mute that because we don't want that doubling back through the live stream. But I do want to go to it. I'm trying to open it up so I can put this in the chat. Okay, there we go. Bam. All right, I sent that in the chat. It did not pop up in the social stream ninja. I wonder why. It should have. It should have. It should have. There we go. So if somebody chats over on Social Stream Ninja, it might not pop up in the chat. So that's the issue. But we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving. I wonder why this works sometimes and then other times it don't. I really wish I could figure this out. It's such an unstable type of situation with this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Yesterday it worked fine. So as long as nobody chat over there, they won't think I'm missing it. Like, man, he ignoring me. Y'all said something, he didn't say nothing. I ain't get it. Because it ain't come through. All right, so let's close these out. Let's go to the studio and let me pin that chat to the top. So we go there to the control room. And there we go. There we go. Pin message. There we go. Message pin. So we got that set up on YouTube. And let me see something over here. Let me do a sign in over here. Live chat. It says you have an existing session for X. So it's saying it is connected, but it ain't that message ain't pop up over here on this feed when I sent it. Cancel, close all this out. It says close this window after signing in. I'm not fooling with this right now. Let's go ahead and get started. I got a great show for y'all. I got something new that I worked on. So let's go. Let's go ahead and get it. Go here. Go there. We got like cam. Bam, bam, bam. Skip ahead. All right, all right. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God. Woo, thank God. It's Tuesday, guys. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker JPM. You might know them better as JPMorgan Chase. JPMorgan Chase and Company was founded in 1799 by Aaron Burr with the first office opening in New York City, New York. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $900 billion. Yes, that's billion dollars. JPMorgan is in the banks industry and the financial sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of JP Morgan's competitors are Bank of America Corporation, ticker BAC, Citigroup Incorporated, ticker C, and Wells Fargo and Company, ticker WFC. We're going to review JP Morgan's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Bam, 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 bam. We did it. Let's go. Let's go. JP Morgan Chase, ticker symbol JPM, the $908.9 billion company is reporting its second quarter 2026 fiscal year earnings on Tuesday, July 14th. They have a 52-week high of $343.45, which took place on June 25th, and a 52-week low of $279.10 that occurred on March 12th, which is a trading range of $64.35. And they closed today at $339.22. JP Morgan Chase is expected to report $50.54 billion in revenue on the top line, with an adjusted EPS of $5.67, which would which would be 4.8% lower than the $5.94 they reported in the previous quarter. Earnings will be released before the market open, followed by an 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $339.22 represents an increase of 24.54% in just under or around 3 months, I believe. I did not do that part. Oh my gosh. Oh, guys, I got to fix that because this is going to be in the stream. That's the one part I did not fix. Let's get this time frame. Oh man, I was so close to having a perfect show. So close. So that's 105 days. That's about a little over 3 months. I could have rolled with that, but I wanted to be accurate. So just about 3 months. And approximately 3 months. All right, I'm just gonna do that part again, guys. I'm just gonna do that part again because that has to be in my clip, my shorts, my reels that I make. All right, so let's go back, repeat that little part so I can get my flow back. All right, earnings will be released before the market open, followed by 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $339.22 represents an increase of 24.54% in approximately 3 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in March at that 52-week low of $279.10, they would be seeing a gain of $245.40. Woo! We did that. All right, now let's move on. Here we go. All right. Company websites. That's not supposed to be in there either. Oh man. Ooh, I can't wait till I get this production team. Cause boy, trying to be a daddy, a husband, a son, and all this stuff at one time, boy. Let's get it going. Let me find it. I'm gonna put this right. I'm gonna take my time. I'm used to getting this together. This is how I do. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, yesterday when we did it, I had put different things in here and I didn't update this is supposed to say researching a company. That's what that's supposed to say. All right, guys, give me a second. I'm about to check and see if there's anything else in here that might be missing. I hope y'all had an awesome day in the market. That's the best thing I can say right now. That's what I'm gonna say. Hope y'all had an awesome day in the market. I put these chapters on here. Y'all don't have to struggle with me through this. You can skip ahead to whatever part you're interested in the show for you to get the information that you want or whatever. I'm cool with it. I showed up. We getting it together. That's what's going on. So let's check that. S&P 500, clients and partners, research, company research. Got that. Companies and partners, company and partners. That's what that's supposed to be. Got it. Clients and partners. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. I think that's what we needed. All right, let's go back. We just had finished talking about researching a company. That's where we left off. All right, I got it. So researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and the text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go to JP Morgan's website. Here we go. Bam. And here is their ticker. All right, guys, let's make sure we zoomed in. This looks funny to me. Well, I was right. We weren't zoomed in all the way. So we are now. And here is how it's going to look when you first go to the website. Also, links to their website is down. Links to this website is down in the description for your convenience. Let me click on this and see what they got. About Us. Well, that ain't hard to find. Take me off the screen. So About Us, careers, and investor relations are right there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and scroll through this website, and then we're going to come back up there and go through it. All right. So 2025 annual report, proud Olympic and Paralympic Games partner, committed to service, innovation, and growth, making opportunities happen. You couldn't see the pictures because I was reading it, but there we go. All right, now let's scroll over this homepage, our new headquarters, serving with purpose, creating economic opportunity for all, our impact, our communities, prioritizing talent and career growth, see impact in action. Our 2025 annual report in the news. So they got some headlines there. And here are some other links right down here at the bottom. I'm going to take me off the screen and see if they have some other stuff here. So I see About Us. So we can click that. Wait a minute. Don't zoom in that far. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's way too far. That's way too far. What just happened? Not that far. Okay, there we go. So they do have About Us down here. There's careers. That's a hyperlink for that. Investor relations. And that's right there. Okay, so they do have all that at the bottom, but I want to go where I said we were going to go. We're going to use the link that I found at the beginning. So bam, About Us. They took us over to another drop down. About Us. Come on, just take us to a whole, there we go. Take us to a whole page. Don't play around. So About, they got the same picture from up at the top we had seen before. About Us, leading global financial progress through service and innovation for over 225 years. Serving with purpose, supporting global and local economies by delivering value for our shareholders and investing in the progress of our clients and our employees. United under one goal. JPMorgan and then Chase. Got it. 225 years of lasting progress, business principles, our leadership, our history, art collection, suppliers, and governance. So guys, we'll be reading for a while. That's what it looks like, because all of these are links. So that's where you'll find them. Remember, links are down in the description for your convenience. So here are some awards and recognition that the company has received. And that's that. So let's go to careers and see if we can find the benefits. The benefits. Careers, work, that's everything that's going to be on the page. Don't even do that. Just click it and let's go. Click it and let's go. Come on, load up. Where ambition meets possibility. The scale of our firm opens wide-ranging opportunities with over 300,000 plus employees globally. We serve millions of clients, customers, businesses, hospitals, schools, governments, and more. We champion a workplace where you can belong, grow your career, and make an impact every day and everywhere. Meet our people. This looks like a video you can play, and it's got like 6 different things here. Click, 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 click. Okay. Here are some stats about the company. We are looking for the benefits. I haven't seen anything about it yet. See impact in action. Stories. Our business areas, asset, wealth management, corporate functions, technology, commercial investment banking. So these are the different departments. Students build a career with purpose. See programs, pathways for professionals. One of the biggest tech and data-driven companies. Explore opportunities. Skills for social good. And there's a video there. Here to help you thrive. Explore benefits is at the bottom. We still got some scroll left. So let me show you. Featured awards, culture and conduct. Get the latest updates. All right, we found it. So let's click on the benefits so we can hurry and get to the investor relations. Let's go. All right. Woo, they give you some details, don't they? So employee benefits. Our wide-ranging benefits package offers an industry-leading selection of support to help our employees care for their total well-being, their financial future, their career growth, and the people who matter to them at home and in their community. All right, health and wellness, financial health, family, community. Got some nice reading there, people. But that's where it is. Fostering an inclusive network. Service, our values. Service, heart, curiosity, courage, excellence. our global footprint. Get the latest updates. All right, so we got it. We found it. Now let's move on to investor relations. Right here. Bam. And it's still on the same website. I like the fact that they didn't have us go nowhere else. Like, go out. Let's go out. Nah, let's stay right here on this website. Investor relations. I don't see any links at the top. Nope. Not going there. So let's just keep scrolling, see what we can find. Anything in here that looks interesting. Shareholder info. That might be it. So let's keep scrolling. We're looking for the stock quote and whatever charts, if they have any, available on their website. I wouldn't say that I'm gonna be shocked if we can't find it. Shareholder information. Here it is. Stock price information. Let's keep scrolling and we'll come back and we'll click on it. It's kind of weird they put it almost at the bottom instead of right there at the top. But anyway, here we go. Stock price information. It does look like they pay a dividend. So let's go there. Bam. That looks small. Let's try to zoom in and see what we got. Yeah, they zoomed us out. So here is the stock quote information. They trade on the New York Stock Exchange, which is what we talked about earlier. And I'm going to chat to you, just talk to you to let you know what's going on. It looks like they outsourced the data that they need, that feed that shows the stock chart information. So it might take a few seconds for it to load up. And I really wish that whoever this company is would get their stuff together. Not Chase, but it seems like this happens often when we go to these company websites to see this information about charts, but there it is. All right. And here are some other tools that they have available on their website. Weekly stock data. I'm saying because it's saying weekly, but it's not telling you like which one of what candle represents what. I was staring to see if I could figure it out, but I don't see it. So anyway, let's move on. Let's go to what I found in my research about the company. So we go here. We'll talk about went to their website. That's the wrong button. Wait a minute. There we go. Clients, S&P 500 clients. JPMorgan does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some notable names include Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL, Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN, and United Health Group Incorporated, ticker UNH. Now, let's talk about the mobile limitations. Let's talk about this real quick. All right. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now let's look at JP Morgan on the charts. Here we go. Bam, bam. There we go. All right. Yeah. So we have JP Morgan pulled up on the charts. Say that 2 times, huh? Just keep saying it. Remove drawing. So here we are. We're looking at the 1-year daily chart. There we go. Bam. So here is their 52-week low of $279.10. Here's their 52-week high of $343.45. Now, before we start drawing these technicals, let's go ahead and look at a higher time frame. So let's go check out the 10-year weekly chart. Bam. Take me off the screen so we can see it. Here is their 10-year low of $62.14. And here is their 10-year high of $343.45. And notice, guys, that this is also the 52-week high. So right now we're looking at about a year's worth of time focusing on this area right here. So there are no historical price levels that are above this level right here. So most of our technicals data we're going to do are going to be within this year. Just wanted you to be able to see that. Since the price action is all the way up here, there's really no reason to be looking for technicals all the way down here. But I will mention this while we're looking at it. This is the 200-week simple moving average, and here is the 200. This is the 9-week simple moving average. So let me zoom in so you can see that. So I'm going to zoom in on 2025, and this year so far, 2026. Here we go. Bam. Zoom in. There we go. Pull this over. All right. So from here on back until it says 2024. So this is all 2025 and this is 2026 so far. So as we're zoomed in, you can get a better view on what I'm talking about. This dashed green line is the 9-week simple moving average, and this dashed white line is the 200-week simple moving average. And here are the price levels for those, and they're color coded as well. So the 9-week is at $318.28. And the 200-week simple moving average is at $216.86. All right. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at the 1-year daily chart. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys, Chase is up there. So here's today's candle right there. And it is trading above the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. So it's the same color and it's the same number, but now it's counting daily bars or daily candles. So 200-day and 9-day. And they're at different price levels compared to what we were looking at before. The 9-day is at $333.31 and the 200-day is at $308.77. So it's trading above both of those. It is above this prior support. I used the high of this candle, but looking at it now, the way those two candles were, I should have did that level a different way. So I'm gonna show you how I would do this. Let me show you what I would do. First, let's remove this. And what I would do, I would use this one because that gives me two candles that reached a certain level. And that brings us to 335.87. And now when we do that, we can see that brings it closer to these candles here. Ah, that's a bad arrow. The open and close on these candles, the opens are very close to that price level, as well as this candle here coming to that level as closer to that candle as resistance, and this candle as well. So 335.87, I'm seeing that as resistance. Far as support, we got a few candles right here that we can put a line of support on. So let me do that. Let me do that. Here we go. Price level. And I'm looking to the left to see how it's responding over there. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. So that's another price level that I'm seeing. That's $327.50. And with the price action being up here, the only thing we have as resistance as a historical price level is going to be right here, guys. That $343.45 is the resistance. So, and then we have the 9-day simple moving average as support as well, because the price action is above that. So those are the price levels that I would keep an eye on. That's what I would look at. And then we have a gap over here that has not been filled. So let me show you that. It's very small. Probably wouldn't notice it. So let me zoom in. And then we'll go ahead and get the stock quote, because this gap would be a nice little another thing to pay attention to. So these two candles right here, we used the rectangle tool. We connected it to the high and low of those two candles. And then we're going to extend this over to December 1st. So we can see where it is. There we go. December 1st. There we go. Click OK. All right. So that's the gap that has not been filled yet. Space this out a little bit, make it easier to see, and bring this over. Yeah. Okay. So the top of this zone, this would be easy to do. Just put a price level there. Top of that zone price level is $315.55. The bottom of that zone is $314.72. It's kind of close together because that gap is so small, but it was there. But I liked putting that there because of this. Now that we've identified that gap in those price levels, we can see that that gap actually held as resistance for a while on these candles here, these candles here. Like, that's a significant area. See how the price likes to come to that level? It responds to that gap. So we can also look at that as a zone even after that gap gets filled. And that's why that stood out to me. So I identified that that was a gap, as well as where price action kept responding to those levels. All right, so let's zoom in and get our stock quote for JPMorgan Chase. We can zoom in a little bit more, drag this over, spread that out, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, now let's go up here to the settings, get my floating data box, and let's get the stock quote for JPMorgan Chase. So JPMorgan Chase opened today at $340.98. They had a high of $341.40. They had a low of $337.09. They closed today at $339.22, which was a trading range of $4.31. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded 7.1 million shares of this stock today. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to look at my volume labels. But first, let's cut off this floating data box. Take me off the screen. And then we're going to look at the average trading volume. That's interesting, guys. The average trading volume for JPMorgan Chase in a daily trading session is 9.2 million shares. And today they did 7.1. So they traded below average. Even though the price went up, it closed red on the day because the open, which is right here, is higher than the close. So it closed lower. So that created the red candle, even though it closed higher than the previous close. So this was yesterday's close. Here's today's close. So price went up, even though we got a red candle. So sometimes that might be a little confusing to people, but yeah. So that's that. Now we can see that this candle right here, the green candle, had more volume. That's the previous volume right here. And that's still below average. So on Monday, JPMorgan Chase had 8.6 million shares trading on volume, 8.6 million shares right here. And then today they traded 7.1. So we see a decrease in volume, even though the price is moving to the upside. It's moving to the upside on low volume. Plus the overall market was kind of weak today, and the VIX went up as well. So that could have something to do with it. But right now, those are the levels that I'm seeing. This is my resistance. This is my first area I would keep an eye on for support. Then I will look at the 9-day simple moving average, and then this. And if it makes it through those three levels, I would look for it to fill that gap. That's how I would play it. All right, now let's look at this. The volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume is only higher than 57 of those days. If we looked at that as a percentage, today's volume was only higher than 22.6% of the most recent 252 trading days volume. We did it. We can move on. We got it. So we go here, 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 and here. Now let's talk about it. Oh, community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as on the ticker on the screen. Now, let's talk about this. The S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company inside of the S&P 500 index. Let's go back to the charts. So here we go. Yeah. All right, now let's take these arrows off. We're gonna go up here to our symbol box and we're gonna type in SPY, and here we go. Ooh, we got a lot of levels up there, don't we? All right, so let me take me off the screen. We gonna break it down. All right. So the SPY has a 52-week low of $617.87 and a 52-week high of $760.40. Now let's zoom in and focus on where we are now with the price action. But before we do that, let me go ahead. I'm talking kind of fast. Here is the 200-day simple moving average, because once we zoom in, we won't see this. So that is at $693.19. And we cannot see the 200. I mean, we can't see the 9-day simple moving average. So we'll focus on that after we zoom in. Actually, is it right here? Let me double check this, guys. So if I mouse over it, yeah, it's right there. It's right there. So if I click this, it'll lock. It's right here, $741.54. That's where the 9-day simple moving average is as far as the price level. That's so close to this bubble, which is the close for today. That's why you can't see it. When they're close, the price action for that day takes priority over the simple moving average bubbles. That's why you can't see it. So we would have to zoom in, and then it'll probably do it. It'll be close enough to separate it for you. Okay, so let's zoom in so we can focus on this. See, you saw how it appeared once we zoomed in. Now it's not overlapping. And that's the same price level I was just telling you, $741.54. So those are the two places you can look at. Okay, all right, now let's zoom in a little bit more, get this going. Guys, what's catching my attention is that this spot is really responding to these price levels we got up on this chart. So here is Monday's candle, and it managed to close above that level of $749.88. Now, this is what I want you guys to keep in mind, or what we should all keep in mind when it comes to these technicals, that round numbers are psychological levels. So that is real close to $750. And that's going to bother people if that price level can't stay above that. And that's what we see. It opened right here on the top of that body above that price level of $749.88. And it actually opened at $750.22. That's right here. Says open, $750.22 right there. Okay. So it actually opened above 750 and that area we had as support. And it managed to get below it and come down and attempt to test this level with that wick on that candle. So I'll erase this arrow here, and then we'll put a new arrow here. The wick on the candle came down close to that level of $744.44 to test it, fell short, but it closed below that area of support at $749.88. So if we're looking at these two price levels, it kind of closed in the middle, just slightly above the middle of that range that is trading in right now. But guys, most of this price action has been between this range. When we look at the majority of the bodies of those candles, not the wicks, just the bodies. So if we look at most of the bodies of these candles over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daily trading sessions, most of the price action has been within that range on the SPY. So it's trending sideways to me between that range. So if we were to, it's just bouncing up, down in this range. That's what I'm seeing right now from what we're seeing with the technicals that we're looking at. And a lot of the leaders in the S&P 500 and we'll talk about that next, but it's in the information technology sector, the Mag 7. Most of those have to do with AI, semiconductors, and storage. Even though Amazon is in the consumer discretionary, they're heavily invested in AI, and they have a data cloud service with Amazon Web Services. So some of the companies are misleading based off what sector they're inside of. They're heavily invested in information technology. Okay, so that's what we got going on there with the SPY. But we need to pay attention to this, though. We need to pay attention to the volume. Like, how is it trading volume wise? So let's check that out next. I might as well erase everything. I did that much. I wanted to leave it, but I messed up. But let's just move on. Let's go ahead and get the stock quote, the ETF quote. This is the ETF. Let's get the ETF quote, and then we can talk about the volume. So the SPY opened today at $750.22. They had a high of $750.96. They had a low of $745.21, and they closed today at $747.71, which is a trading range of $5.75. Now, when we look at the volume, they traded 43.7 million shares of this ETF today. Now, what we need to do, we need to find out what the average trading volume is for the SPY ETF. So take me off the screen. Here we go. The average trading volume, guys, is 73.2 million. Today, they did 43.7. That's low, guys. That is very low for the SPY. And if we don't know how low, this is going to break it down for us. So let's finish this and then we'll get into it. Now, this volume that we had today is also lower than this green candle we had. So that green candle we had did close above that support, right? And it did that on higher volume. The volume for that candle was 50.6 million. So that's about 7 million more shares of this ETF traded yesterday than today, but both of them are still below average. Okay. Now we're going to figure out how low is the volume for the candle that formed today. We can put me back on the screen. Now, here's why I love this label so much. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's candle's volume was only higher than 7.5% of those 252 most recent trading days volume. And then we can get the exact amount. It was only higher than 19 of those days out of the 252 trading days. I did not cut my fan on my camera and my camera overheated. I'm coming back, guys. I'm coming back. It's all right. I got another camera. Just bear with me. Backup cam. Bam. See what I'm saying? I be prepared for this foolishness. I'm trying to tell you every day it be something. It be something. But that boy good. I'll be having some backup plans. I'll be having some plans for the plans. But I'm so used to looking here. Now I got to look here until the camera cool down. I forgot to cut the fan on. It's all right. Like I said, when I get my production team, boy, y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Woo. All right. So here we go. He's talking about the volume and the camera overheated. And we were just putting emphasis on breaking down and highlighting the fact that today's volume was weak. Even though the candle came down and it had a wider range than yesterday. So let's look at the difference in those ranges. And the range is just the distance between the high and the low that was formed on that candle. So today's range was $5.75 and yesterday's range was $5. So it was about 75 cents more than Monday's range. And then we're seeing decreasing volume while the price is coming down on the ETF SPY, on the SPY ETF. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Yeah. So that's what we got there. That's what we got there, guys. Okay, so we can cut that off and we can move on. I think that it's the fun part of the show. And I'm going to look like I'm blind because I'm going to be looking at the prompter and we're using this camera for right now. All right. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. And we're going to leave the charts up so I don't even have to worry about the background. So let's just go ahead and get this read. Let me see what I got to tell y'all. All right, the sector rotation tracker. Time to follow the money. One of my favorite parts about the show. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today. All right, and I got a treat for you guys because I created a Microsoft workbook spreadsheet to help us track what's been going on. And I think this is going to be dope and it's going to make this a lot easier because at first we were using this. We were using this blackboard. I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. And this thing was giving me the flux. Okay. Let me oh, come see, see, giving me the flux already. I'm just trying to show you what it was doing before. Before. All right. So this is what we were using before. All right, let me pan this over. This is what we were using. So we would select this, then we would zoom in and go to 100. Space this out. Yeah, this is what we were using before. And guys, this was a nuisance for me, all right? This was a nuisance. Like even now. There we go. Fit the screen 100. So we were going in here, changing all of this, and it was taking up time to get set up like we just did. But I just wanted to show you where we were struggling at before to see where we're about to go. Bless up, fam. J-Rock, what's up? What's up? Appreciate you for tuning in. Let me pull your chat up, man. I'm so happy to see you. You just don't know what to do. Man, I've been over here grinding. Just keep showing up, keep getting it. So something's going on, man. Something's going on because I did not hear this chime. So let me check this and then see what happened. Okay, it did it that time. But it's not showing up over there. Trigger effect. Oh, that's why. Let me try this one more time. Trigger test. Okay, there we go. All right, so close this out. Let me pull your chat up. I hope you're still there. Here we go. So take that off. Take off the spy. Bam. Pull up the chat. J-Rock is in the building. Bless up, fam. Listen, loyal viewer. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the people that's been tuning in, that's been watching, that's been helping out, that's been supportive. I really appreciate you. Hope you had an awesome day in the market too. I just been focusing on doing the videos. I'm just like, show up and do it. Show up and do it. Sometimes I don't even look up. But hopefully this chime works now so I won't be missing the chats. But I'm glad to see you here. Appreciate you. So yeah, we're going to use a spreadsheet now. So that was the old way of doing it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to open up my rotation tracker. All right. And now that we have this pulled up, we are going to look at what the S&P 500 did today. So let's pull that up on the screen. Appreciate the comment, J-Rock. Go here and pull up this. So we got that. Now, here's what's up. Here's what's up. We are going to fill this out. So here it is. Guys, this is what we're going to start using. Now, I have it pulled up too far. I don't want to block all of these. So since we're just focused on today, this will be fine. So here is the information from yesterday. So on Monday, the S&P 500 index was up 0.7%. The top three gainers for Monday was information technology up 1.7%, financials was up 0.9%, and industrials was up 0.9%. Okay, but it was number three was slightly different. So then our losers, the biggest losers for Monday, healthcare was down 1.1%, consumer staples was down 1.1%, and utilities was down 1.1%. So we're going to start using this spreadsheet, and that should help us do this a lot faster. All right. And there's another trick to do this so we won't be stuck trying to read it and say, oh, I messed up and all that. Nah, I got you. We good. So let me show you how we do this. First, let's just go from left to right, and then I'm going to pull out the secret weapon. So here we go. The S&P 500 today is down 0.5%. Energy is up 2.8%. Materials is down 0.9%. Industrials are down 1.7%. Consumer discretionary is down 0.5%. Consumer staples is up 0.9%. Healthcare is up 1.5%. Financials are down 0.2%. Technology is down 2.4%. Communication services are up 0.7%. Utilities are up 0.9%, and real estate is up 1.4%. This is very interesting, guys. Very interesting. So here's the secret weapon. This is how we're going to do this. We expand this over to the left. Boom. And here we go. So if I click percentage change and we have it in ascending order, it'll already have it broken down for me, right? So first, let's start off with the SPY. So right here, I'm gonna type in SPY, SPX, SPX. The SPX is the S&P 500. Okay, my bad. Okay. Oh, All right, so I see something else. So let me just drag this down. This was something else I messed up on. So just fix this in real time. When I drag this down, now all of this is going to do all of that. It's supposed to automatically fill. Let me fix this. So that's supposed to be go home right here, go here. That's supposed to be empty. This right here, supposed to be gray. So let's fix that. Oh my gosh. Woo. I call myself, boy, it's just one thing after another. Just let's go. Let's fix it. All right, that's that. This color's supposed to be that. This color's supposed to be this. This color's supposed to be this. All right. All of these have the data inside of it now. So it should automatically fill. That needed to be done, okay? So let's minimize this and put it back. There we go. Yeah. All right. So we got the S&P 500 index filled out, and they were down 0.5%. So we need to put minus 0.5%. Bam. All right. Now, biggest gainer, they're already listed out for us right here. So the first one is XLE, XLE, XLV, and XLRE. See how easy that was? This is so much easier than what we were doing before. And now the percentage change is 1.51%. Next one is, that's net change. We're supposed to do the percentage change. The percentage change is 2.84. That's my mistake. 2.84%. The next one is 1.53%. The next one is 1.35%. There's our biggest gainers for today. Okay. Now we're going to look at our biggest losers. So if we leave it like this, we have to read it from the bottom. But if we just click this twice, then we'll put it in descending order. Makes it a lot easier. So from the top, we're going to put in XLK. Then we're going to put in XLI. And then we're going to put in XLB. So from the biggest loser down. So negative 2.39%. The next one is negative 1.71%. And the next one is negative 0.9%. There we go. So we got our biggest losers for today. And we have our biggest winners. Now, what's dope about this tool, guys, it breaks down some of the stuff I want to talk about. So it's like a game of cat and mouse, right? So when we look at information technology on Wednesday, I programmed this to where we can highlight specifically what we want to look at. So here's how we do that. We just want to look to see between Monday and Tuesday, the information technology show up anywhere. So we're going to put that in right here, information technology. It automatically highlights it. So on Monday, it showed up as the gainer. They gained 1.7%. But then today, they showed up as the biggest loser and took back 2.4%. Do you notice that what they took was larger than what they gave us on Monday? And just in case that looks confusing, I programmed it where we can do this. We changed this to both. And now it automatically highlights it for us, so we'll know that the red is negative and the green is positive, just in case you don't see that minus there. Okay? So now we're going to be able to look a little bit faster and deeper in detail as the story plays out during the week. On Monday, the whole week candle hasn't performed yet. And then the data is coming in day by day. You got Monday stats, Tuesday stats, Wednesday stats. So as the week develops, we can see how things are going. So everybody was optimistic about information technology because Monday they came back strong. But now when we look at the data, we can really see that it was a joke. I was looking at the wrong camera. Remember, it overheated. It was a joke. It was a fake out. Because we can see on Tuesday, they took back more than what they gave on Monday. So this wasn't even nothing but a continuation of the bloodbath that information technology started a couple weeks ago. It really hit bad last week. So it kind of faked people out on Monday. And we can see that. Okay. And then we can isolate what we want to look at. So we don't just have to do that with information technology. We can see industrials. So if we go to industrials, we change this to industrials, we can see that industrials went up 9%, 0.9% on Monday, but today they took back 1.7%. So that's a bigger loss than what they gave us on Monday. So this tool, I think, is going to be game changer. This will make it a lot easier when you guys tune in, when we looking to try to follow the money. Okay, when we're working on following the money. So we got a watch list over here so you guys can get familiar with the State Street Global Advisors ETFs. So those are going to be specific tickers that are ETFs, exchange traded funds that focus specifically on the companies that's inside of the S&P 500 index in specific sectors. So the more you tune in and the more you watch this, you'll be able to pick this up. So real estate is going to be XLRE. Healthcare is XLV. Utilities is XLU. Sometimes it's not as easy as you think. Like XLE would be energy, but XLK is information technology. XLY is consumer discretionary, and XLP is consumer staples. Okay, so the more we do this, the more you'll pick up on it. Okay, so we did that. We see what the gainers and the losers were. The data was right there, so we're good. We can move on. But this is like my favorite part of the show now. This is my favorite part. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go here. I'm gonna leave this on the screen because, like I said, the camera overheated, so we're not gonna pull that back up until it cools down. Now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're gonna look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. So we can take this off and put the light there. And we can leave the chat button up. I could have left that active. Okay. So we can take this down. We're done with that. Now let's go back to pro market closed. And we're going to go over here to the watch list, market watch tab. And they moved some stuff around in here, guys. And I hate the fact that they did that, because now I'm going to have to learn this all kind of over again to find out where they put this stuff. Because the S&P 500 should be in indices. And they moved it. They put it in public. So now I got to go through here to find the S&P 500. That's goofy. I don't know why they did that. You can't see it. But it's an indice. It's an index. It should be inside of this. And they only had the S&P 100 in here right now. They don't have the S&P 500 in indices. So I have to go in public now. They moved it. I noticed that today. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's go to the quotes sub tab. Put me back on the screen, and we have the S&P 500 watch list pulled up right here, and we're going to put this in descending order. And there we go, guys. Oh, the story is unfolding. The story is unfolding right before our eyes. So here we go. Let's take that off and let me do this. So the biggest loser for today, guys, is ticker INTC, Intel Corporation. Guys, oh guys, they lost 9.66% today. All right. And their previous close was $122.20, and they closed today at $110.39. Now, because we do the sector rotation, follow the money, rotation tracker, and all of that before we go do this now, we should have an idea who should be where the biggest loser and where the biggest gainer should be at. We should have an idea about that. So we knew that information technology, let's pull that up. Now, it's not going to be this way all the time, but just we'll have an idea though. So now when we go back to that tool, right? We put in information technology sector, the biggest loser happened to be right here, because this was Monday. We're looking at Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. The biggest loser when it came to sectors was the information technology sector, right? Now, when we go look at the individual companies, the biggest loser when it came to the company is in the information technology sector. Know what else is interesting? These are the top losers for today. This long list, right? Now, if we look at sector right here, look at how many of these companies are in the information technology sector. Let me take me off the screen so you can see how long that is. Feast your eyes on that. I'm going to try to help you out too. I'm going to use this little, that's industrial, so I'll cross that out. That's industrials, cross that out. And try to make it easier on you to see it. This is industrials, 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 consumer discretionary, industrials, consumer discretionary, industrials, financials, information technology, materials, industrials, information technology, industrials. Now, who do we keep saying industrials? I just answered that while I was asking. So let's do that again. Let's go look at the tool. Let's look at that tool. So maybe industrials is going to be number 2 as the biggest losing industry, the biggest losing sector, or at least in the top 3. No, it's number 2. See it? They down 1.7%. This data goes together, guys. That's what I want you to see. So the more you've been watching these live streams, the more it looked like some of the stuff I've been doing has been random. I want to work harder on bringing this stuff together so you can get a more complete picture of why I'm doing what I'm doing and what we're seeing and how this goes together. This data leaves clues. We just got to know what we're looking at. So when we look in here, it's breaking them down into companies, but we started. Now I'm bringing in the sectors to show you how we can look at where the sectors will tell you where the companies are that's having issues. You find that looking through the sectors first. So we just saw information technology was the biggest losing sector. Then we go look and the biggest losing company happened to be in that sector. Then when we went down that list of the biggest losers, we saw industrial show up a lot in that list. We saw information technology show up the most. Just so happened that sector showed up as number 1 as the biggest loser, information technology, and then industrial showed up as number 2. And then we see materials. I don't remember mentioning materials that much in that list. I think we mentioned it maybe once. Maybe in that section we were looking at. Yep, here it is. Materials. So let me take me off the screen so you can see it. And I remember mentioning financials, but not a lot. So here's financials. But materials came in 3rd when we look at our chart. I don't even see materials in there twice. Here it is. Here's the 2nd time. And there's financials again. So we see financials twice, materials twice, but most of it was industrials. We saw consumer discretionary. Here it is here. Here it is that. But the majority of it was information technology and industrials. So yeah, guys, we got to put the work in, but it's tools that can help us make this a lot easier to be able to see. All right, so let's do our hypothetical with the calculator. I got all deep into that, but hey, it was worth it. It was worth it. So let's say somebody invested $4,500 and they lost that 9.66%. So we're going to change this to a decimal and we're going to negate it. And we have multiplied it times the 4,500. So they would have lost $434.70. We add the $4,500 back to it. They would be left with $4,065.30 of their investment. All right. That's what they would be left with. So let's go ahead and select Intel and go over to the Analyze tab. And here they go. So Intel, ticker INTC, is in the information technology sector, which we already knew and talked about. But we're going to look and see how that sector performed, how that industry performed, and how the sub-industry performed that Intel is inside of. So let's go over here to our Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go to the Visualize sub tab. Now here's where I was complaining about having to find where they move the information to where they move the S&P 500 index to. So here it is. All right. Man, that's a long, stupid list now, the way they did this. Okay, let's take me off the screen. Here we go. So we're looking for the information technology sector. It's right here. It's right here. So we go inside that sector. Now we're looking for Intel. Intel is right here, guys. So that is inside the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment. It's highlighted yellow. So we're going to go ahead and go inside there. And guys, this is easy to see. There's only one company that's green, and this is one of the leaders. So because this market cap on this company is so big, it kind of offsets the losses with these companies that have smaller market caps, but not by much, because even the gain they had, it just showed up green, but it was a small gain. They went up 0.71%, NVIDIA by itself. So then when we look at Intel, it lost 9.66%. Micron lost 4.71%. AMD lost 6.51%. Like, these are some big loss, 6.64% on AMAT. These are some big losses over here in this industry. Okay. So we went inside the semiconductors. It's down here in this list. Look how far we got to go over here because of what they did. So the industry we're looking in right now is the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment, okay? And then Intel is inside of the semiconductor sub-industry. So that's how we did that, and we can see that over here. So information technology sector, semiconductors and semiconductor equipment industry, and then the semiconductors sub-industry is where Intel is located, right there. Bam. All right. Now let's take that off the screen and let's go back to the Analyze tab, and let's talk about Intel Corporation before we visit their website. So here's the link to their website, and here's a little bit of details about the company. Intel Corporation designs, develops, manufactures, markets, sales, and services, computing and related end products and services in the United States, Ireland, Israel, and internationally. Got it. All right, so let's go to their website. Let's put me back on the screen. Let's take this ticker off that's talking about Thinkorswim. Yeah, we did that. And yeah, let me push this. We haven't used that in a while. Cool. And we got the biggest losers up on the screen. All right. Let that graphic go down. All right. So we're on Intel's website. And what we're going to do, let me look over the top to see where we might go. I think everything we need to see is down at the bottom. I don't see anything at the top that stands out. So let's just go ahead and go. Let's go. Who's flipping stuff over? All right. Intel Xeon, is that? Yeah, Xeon. Meet the future of network performance. All right. Intel Arc, power more in the palm of your hand. See what's inside. Scroll. McLaren Intel. My lips are so dry, they burning. Innovation at full throttle. Oh my gosh. Woo. Burning. All right, keep scrolling. Latest news. Don't miss Intel's Computex announcements. Partnership, innovation. We break barriers so builders can move faster from prototype to global scale. That's the power of Intel inside. Gotcha. All right, we down at the bottom fast. Okay, so here we go. Company overview, careers, and investors. They made it easy, guys. So let's go ahead and go to company overview. Do they have a zoomed in? Where we at with the zoom? We're good. Innovation starts here. Our purpose, our approach, life at Intel, more about Intel. Our purpose, create world-changing technology that improves the life of every person on the planet. That's simple. I mean, simple said, simple said, simple said, simple read. Intel underpins everyday life. We design and manufacture technology that helps us all connect, create, and achieve great things together. Our North Star, our responsibility, we power possibilities. We deliver AI experiences that power businesses with industry-defining platforms with 50 years of unmatched innovation at global scale. You get the reliability and resilience you need to launch into a future full of creativity and ingenuity. I'm reading too much. I didn't realize it until I was like halfway through the sentence. Amplifying better AI. Turn this over towards me a little bit. There we go. Amplifying AI, better AI, building for the AI era, advancing an open ecosystem, From ideas to breakthroughs, discover your place in our world-changing work. All right, we at the bottom anyway. All right, let's go back. This is just gonna scroll us up. Yep. Okay, so let's go back. No, take that box down. What's wrong with their website? Oh man, they got a glitch. Restart this mess. All right, back down here at the bottom, careers. All right, now what we looking for, you already know. We looking for the benefits. Let's find these benefits. Why join Intel? Join us. Work you can be proud of, a culture of support, abundant opportunities to grow. Love your job, live your life. Company overview. They got a video there. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Our voices. Stay up to date on the latest employee features from around the world at We Are Intel channels. All right, guys, I ain't seen nothing on there about benefits, so we need to get to clicking. I think we need to get to clicking. Join company overview. Maybe that. Nope. That took us. Nope. That took us to about the company. Join us. Nope. It's on the same page. Supportive benefits and programs. Look at there. Look at there. That color scheme was terrible. You could barely read the text. I'm blaming them. I'll take responsibility. I didn't read it. Let's just say I didn't read it. That was accountability. Intel benefits. Discover your place in our world-changing work. Your opportunity at Intel. Did they zoom us out? This looks small to me. Nope. We got it at 150. This still looks small. Supporting what matters to you. Refresh, revive, rejuvenate, make a difference, discover more. Your opportunity at Intel, supporting what matters to you. Best in class in fertility benefits. Children's future education, employee communities, environmental sustainability, social impact. Okay, take a break, make a difference, discover more for your Intel journey. All right, guys, links down in the description. I probably went a little bit fast. Is that, what am I saying? I probably went pretty fast. Let's go to investors. All right. Might want to slow it down. So the link's down there for you to do that on your own time. Okay, so here we go. Intel, they got some stock information there, but let's browse over this page. And then I believe I see the links we need right there at the top. I see stock info. So there we go. Stock info. Yep. Stock quote, charts, historical data. They have some tools up here and it looks like they pay dividends. So let's go to the quote. The charts might be on the same page. Looks like that to me. Why they got a different? That's silly to me. Ain't that the same chart? It's slightly different. So here's the stock quote information. They have the chart thing there, interactive stock chart. So they think that that's different to give it its own. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Dividend, stock splits, and all of that good stuff. So remember, links are down in the description. Let's go ahead and go to my research about the company. I think my other camera is cool enough to attempt to switch back to that one. So give me 1 second. Go ahead and cut that back on. We got the fan going on that one. Yeah, it's on. So here we go. Bam. All right, now we can cut that camera off. So I don't want that to overheat possibly while we're doing this. And we can go back to the main cam now. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So the research. So Intel Corporation, ticker INTC, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage computing component manufacturing across the personal computer, cloud data center, and artificial intelligence infrastructure markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete central processing options, including core desktop processors and core ultra mobile hardware for consumer computing devices. Number two, scalable data center products, including Xeon server processors, Gaudi hardware, accelerators, and specialized FPGA components for enterprise infrastructure deployment. And number three, and optimized silicon foundry systems tailored for advanced node lithography, multi-die package assembly, and external chip manufacturing outsourcing. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, Dell Technologies Incorporated, ticker DELL, and Hewlett Packard Enterprise Company, ticker HPE. All right, now let's go ahead and go back to the charts. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's go to the charts. Bloodbath, guys. Woo! Let's go to the 1 year daily chart. Take me off the screen so you can see what's going on. Now, I've been warning about this. So if you guys been tuning in, you've been around, it's your first time tuning in to original greatness, then you already know I'm saying, hey, we looked at this 10-year. This don't look sustainable, guys. I don't believe that this company didn't gain that much value to do something stupid like this in less than a year. I've been warning them. But hey, you got to make your own decisions, right? So here we go. Over here, they have a 52-week low of $18.97. We are looking at the 1-year daily chart because I was laughing and rambling. Maybe I didn't say that clear. And then even with them trading now, it's not up, it's trading sideways, guys. It's close to where they closed at. That just stood out to me because I seen it moving while I was pointing out these other things. That is not what I wanted. I wanted the eraser. There we go. All right, so what are we doing here? We're going back to this. So here is their 52-week high of $142.35. Now, we already have some technicals on this chart, which I'm happy about because this can make it where the show ends up being a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and look at the 10-year weekly chart, and we can see that they have a 10-year low of $17.67. And they have a 10-year high of $142.35. Now, what's interesting about this, guys, is that this 10-year high is also the 52-week high. And if we want to see what that percentage gain is, what we can do, we can go ahead and take those illustrations off the screen. We can zoom in, and then we can drag this over to the right. Can you see both? Yes, you can. Use my other mouse, and we're going to open up this trend line tool. We're going to connect it to the low of this candle and to the high of the 52-week high. And this will tell us, guys, that was a 705.83% gain from that 52-week low to that 52-week high. Yes, this is a 10-year weekly. Let's see if that's, no, that's not within that. So in the 10-year, so we're looking at a 10-year weekly. So this time frame is actually 448 days. So that's not a 52-week low. All right. So if we did the math, how many months is that? So we pull out our calculator. I'm going to round this off. So we had the days. It was 448. So 448 days. Come on. Why you acting like you don't want to move? Oh, I know why. 448 days. I guess I don't know why. It still won't let me drag it. If I blow it up, minimize it, will it let me grab it and move it? Yeah. See how this stuff be messing with me? We said 448 days, 448, and then we divide this by 30 so that it tell us how many months that is. So about 15 months. So in about 15 months, this was an opportunity where this stock went up over 700% in a matter of about 15 months. Crazy business, right? So here's my logic. I'm gonna share with you how I look at this stuff so you can see what I mean. And I'll use a restaurant business. Let's say McDonald's, for instance, just for illustration purposes. It's not a recommendation or anything like that. So let's say McDonald's. So if McDonald's had a stock price that was $80, let's just say 80, and it went to 160, that means that the stock price doubled. Now, if the company is supposed to be associated with that stock price, then my line of thinking is if the stock price doubled, then the company needs to double. So did McDonald's open, let's say they had 800 restaurants. Did they open 800 restaurants and they got twice as many restaurants now because the stock price doubled? Then if the stock price tripled, did they open? They had 8, let's use some smaller numbers. If they had 10 restaurants, let's use 10, and they doubled, they would have 20. So if the stock price is equal or in line with every time the stock price doubled, the company doubled, you get what I'm trying to say? They would be in line. So that's how I visualize a disconnect. So when we look at 700%, that means that the stock price 7x'd itself. So did Intel 7x? I don't believe so. Not in no doggone 15 months. So that's just how simple I look at it. So I don't know how high it's gonna go, but that's my red alarm. That's my alarm. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, this ain't right. Something wrong here. Something wrong. Something wrong here. That's my alarm. I'm gonna get me a little prop. Get me a prop. Woo, woo, woo. That's an alarm, bro. That don't make sense to me. So that's how I looked at it. Now, I didn't know how high it was going to go up, because if something is a little overvalued, it can become a lot of overvalued. That's why it's hard to time the market, even when it's going up, or timing the bottom. It's hard to time the top, and it's hard to find top the bottom. It's hard to time the bottom, and it's hard to time the top. So I don't try to time it. I just try to figure out if it makes sense. So if it don't make sense to buy it, based off where the value is, just thinking about it like that and looking at the financials, looking at the growth and things, doesn't make sense to me. So that was what was concerning me about how fast the stock price was growing compared to what I believe the company was growing at. Because what happens is institutions try to get you to pay future prices for something and forget about what the company's actually worth right now. Like, what is the company worth right now? I don't care what it's going to be worth 10 years later, because you're not going to charge me what it's going to be worth in 10 years today. And that's what happens when it gets overvalued like this. This is nuts, man. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. So I'm off my soapbox. So let's go back and go to the 1 year daily chart and let's get into this. So let's zoom in, and here we go. So we can see that this first time, this is when everybody was calling it like a pullback, right? So then it recovered off this price level that we have here as support at $99.82. Now, if you've been tuning in the whole show tonight, or if you heard me say this before, and you're a loyal viewer or student, here's the thing. You should already know that 99.82 is real close to what? PSY. Psychological level. And I hope I spelt that right. Psychological level. All right. And that psychological level is $100. It's a round number, guys. That 99.82. We respond to round numbers. We just do. That's a known thing in the market. Okay. So since we respond to stuff like that, I'll put the 100 here. Since we respond to stuff like that, those are significant levels. So we can see that it responded to that level over here, and then even this level that we have highlighted there. It responded to it here. That's why it's on the chart, because I was telling you we already have some technicals on the chart already. But here, when it recovered and it made some new highs, this is what caught my attention. This candle, when it closed below this high and this high. It made a new high, but it wasn't able to close above these two previous highs. To me, that was a red flag. Okay? Because once it gets back up under this 9-day simple moving average, in my opinion, especially with volume, it's going to be hard to get back up there, because you have people that's trapped here now on something that's already overvalued. You have people that's trapped up here. That's what I'm seeing when I see the technicals. Now, you have this price level, which is also near a psychological level. I know I got a lot going on. The mouse is, I'm getting it together. So you got that price level of $124.39, which is also near another round number. All right. So you got 125. Now, this opened this day right here. So this was Thursday. This red candle opened near the 9, came up to test it, but it couldn't quite cross it. Not only did it fall away from the 9, it closed below that area of support. So on Monday, right here, can I undo both of those? Bam, bam. Yeah, that's good. So I'm learning how to use that. I just want to erase these. So now Monday, we come back. This candle opens below that resistance, because now that it's below it, that's resistance. It was able to work its way above it during that trading session, come to test the 9, but it did not get to it, and end up closing basically where it started at. That's why the body's so small. But now it didn't close under that support. So if it closed below support, that's resistance now. Now remember, it started off as resistance. It got above it during the trading session, so now it needs to hold that support. It didn't. It closed under it as resistance again. So that's three times. So you had a close here, you had an open here, you had a close here below that area of resistance. When it got above it, it should have turned to support. It didn't. So gap down today. Gap down. Gap down. That's what we got here. So let's draw that on the chart. So we got a gap from Monday's low to Tuesday's high. And then we're going to turn this yellow and we're going to extend this over to December 1st. Bam, bam. There we go. All right. So you already know we need to highlight those zones, guys. We need to highlight that. So the price level, the bottom of that gap is $116.47. Top of that gap is, the box is in the way. Let me go ahead and either move it. I'll erase it, put a new one. $124.39. So the top of the gap is $121.52. The bottom of the gap is $116.47. Got it. Now, first area of support. So now it's going to be trading in this range. This is how I'm seeing it. This is how I'm seeing it. I'm looking for something, guys. It's going to be trading in this range. This is the range it's inside of. I'm not saying it's going to stay in that range. I'm telling you that that is the range. You see how over here you got a lot of price action in between that range? So now it's back in that range again. So now that it's in that range, your resistance is $116.47. The support is $106.58. So if that doesn't hold that support, I'm looking for it to come down and test. Let's do this a different way. I didn't even need to do that. We can use an arrow. Come down and test this 99.82, which we already talked about before, is a psychological level as well. I'm gonna put the text back because now I'm getting better with using this tool, of $100. And we can see that it's done that before because we pointed that out over here, okay? Not to mention, I think that this is overvalued anyway. So that's what I have for the technicals, okay? So this is Intel. Let's go ahead and pull up the floating data box. I'm going to erase some of this stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on. Open up the floating data box so we can get the technicals, not the technicals, the stock quote, all right? The stock quote for Intel. There we go. We go to the settings, floating data box. There we go. Now, Intel opened today at $116.03. They had a high of $116.47. They had a low of $108.30, and they closed today at $110.39, which was a trading range of $8.17. Now, when we look at the trading volume, I don't know what the average trading volume is for Intel, but I tell you this, they traded 140 million shares of this stock today, okay? And it ain't even earnings. Earnings are actually coming up on, let's take this floating data box down. They have it right here. Earnings are scheduled for July 23rd. Now, let's find out what the average trading volume is for Intel before I get too excited. The average trading volume for Intel in a daily trading session, guys, is 113 million shares. And today they traded 140, okay? So, yes, that is above average, but it ain't just above average. This is what I want you to pay attention to. So this candle, this red candle right here, let me get me a little arrow on it, that one right there, it traded above average. We got that, right? But this candle right here traded significantly lower. They did 86.9 million on this candle right here that looked like they was confused. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They was in that tight little range right there when it comes to the body of the candle, you know, but that was below average volume. So to look at the distance between the previous volume, not just the average, but just the previous volume and today's volume, that's over 50 million more shares traded today compared to the last trading session, which also started off as a gap. So you got that gap there off of that. That's bearish, guys. You saw a big increase in volume to the downside. Okay. Big increase in volume. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to look at what today's volume was compared to what they usually get as far as like the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 57 of those days had higher volume than today. Today's volume was higher than 77.4% of those most recent 252 trading days. Bada boom, bada bang, we got it. Now we can go ahead and move on. So let's go ahead and go here. Let's go ahead and go here. We can take this off, take the loser off, and we can go up here and go to the Market Watch tab. And then we're going to go to the quotes sub tab. We got all that stuff still on there. Delete. All right, now we go to ascending order. And I'm just saying that so I can learn, because that confuses me, ascending order and descending order. So I'm learning how to get it together. So the biggest gainer for today is ticker CTSH, Cognizant Technology Solutions Corporation. And guys, this is very interesting. All right. And I'm going to break this down about why. Okay. So Cognizant, ticker CTSH. They had a gain of 6.21% today. Their previous close was $41.37, and they closed today at $43.94. Now, here's what's interesting. Guys, they are in the information technology sector. Now, here's the thing. I've been trying to share with people. There's different industries inside of that sector. People just focusing on two industries inside that sector. So I think the institutions are moving some of their capital out of those industries into other industries inside the same sector. That's why the whole sector isn't tanking like really bad, like all together. The largest market caps have the largest weighting on that index, on that sector. They have the largest weight on that sector based on their market cap size. So there's other companies in there with smaller market caps that I think the larger institutions are moving their money out of the larger market caps and going into those smaller market caps inside that same sector. But it's hard to see because of the big losses from the bigger companies. I hope that makes sense. So yeah. Now, when we look at the majority, now let's look at this real quick. So I pointed that out, and then we'll do our hypothetical and we'll move on. Remember how when we highlighted all of this, the sectors that showed up in the losers, you see how this is mixed? You see how this is more mixed? This isn't all information technology like it was when we looked at the losers. Now that we're looking at the gainers, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cross out the information technology ones so we can see what other industries are showing up as gainers. And even with me crossing those out, we can see that you have some information technology gainers, and they still didn't gain enough because I told you about their market cap wasn't enough to offset those huge losses that those larger market cap information technology companies had put on that sector inside the S&P 500 index. Okay, so now let's go back to our tool. So what I did, I just crossed out the information technology on the gainers. So when I'm looking at this, the next one we see is energy. I'm seeing energy show up a lot in the top. You see energy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now let's look at our tool. So when we look at our tool, what I'm expecting to see is energy be the #1 gainer today. Look at that. Boy, that boy good. Tuesday, gainer number 1, ticker XLE, energy, up 2.8%. What companies led the way? Ticker OXY. So we can see what companies led the way. Ticker DVN, ticker APA, ticker COP, ticker FANG, ticker TRGP. You see what I'm saying? We got to do the work, man. So what's next? Number 2, healthcare. How do I know? My data told me so. Go to healthcare. Bam, Tuesday, 1.5. Where's healthcare? Right there. Healthcare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? Do the research. So there we go. Let's do our hypothetical. I'm off my soapbox. Let's do my hypothetical. I'm cooking though. I'm cooking. I am cooking. Here we go. Clear this out. Now what we're going to do, hypothetical. Somebody invested $4,500. Multiply. 6.21% gain. So we need to hit this percentage. So they would have gained $279.45 on their initial investment of $4,500. We add the $4,500 back to it, also known as the principal. Total investment would have grown to $4,779.45. Bam! Now we close that out, and then we can go ahead and we can get that off the screen as well. Go over here to the Analyze tab. Go to the Analyze tab, and we can see Intel, information technology sector. All right, we got it. So what we're looking for, and it's trading slightly lower than where it closed at today in after hours. So we're going to look at the performance inside that sector, that industry, and that sub-industry. That's what we're about to go do now. So we go back to the Market Watch tab. We go to the Visualize sub tab, and we already looked at information technology, but let's go back to the top. Here's S&P 500 index. Wait a minute. Did we just see Intel? That wasn't what we were supposed to be looking at. I'm glad I caught that. We supposed to be looking at this. I didn't click it, guys. Ooh, I'm glad I caught that. So go back to the quotes and select it. Now when we go to Analyze, they are in the information technology sector, but the ticker we're supposed to be looking at is ticker CTSH, Cognizant. Okay, they're in the information technology sector. We're going to look at that sector performance, the industry that this company is inside of, and the sub industry that this company is inside of. And I'm willing to bet that this is not inside of the storage or the semiconductors industries. Watch. Let's go see. So Market Watch tab, bam. Now we're going to go to the Visualize sub tab, bam. And we are in the S&P 500 index. Take me off the screen. Here we go. Here is the information technology sector. Bring this over a little bit. Go inside. Bam. Now we are looking for ticker CTSH. CTSH. Here it is. They're in IT services. It's the IT services industry. Look how small this industry is compared to NVIDIA. You know, see how many times this green area can fit inside of NVIDIA? And NVIDIA just happens to be the largest market cap inside this whole industry over here. You got AVGO, you got Broadcom, and then you got all of these down here. So this IT services can fit into these as well, multiple times. So this being green, this whole industry is green, guys. It can't offset those losses over there. The sub industry is IT consulting and other services for Cognizant Technology Solutions Corporation. So now we're inside the sub industry, all green. We go out one level. So we go back out to the IT services. So this is the IT services industry. Then we go out again. Here's the sector, the information technology sector. Then we go out again and we back at the S&P 500 index. So that's what we got there. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab. And here we go. Before we visit Cognizant's website, Here's the company name. Here's the link to their website, also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and we visit the website. Cognizant Technology Solutions Corporation, a professional services company, provides consulting and technology and outsourcing services in North America, Europe, and internationally. Got it. Now, we pull up their website, put me back on the screen, take that disclaimer down, and we're good. I don't know what that was, but I did it. So here we go. Cognizant, we on their main page. So there's about, we might have to go there. There's careers, there's investors. All right, we got it. We're an AI builder, bridging the gap from AI to impact. Let's build. All right, so we see some things there. I'm not reading all that. Cognizant helps companies modernize technology, reimagine processes, and transform experiences so they stay ahead in a fast changing world. That's what they do. Case studies. Got it? Remember, links are down in the description. You want to check this out if I'm moving a little too fast. Hear from expert voices. News. Got it. Drive your career forward fast. Get answers to your questions. Email us if you want to. So that's what they got there. All right. Now, down here at the bottom, who we are. So about Cognizant, we're going to check that out. There's careers. Investor relations is not at the bottom, but it is at the top. And you know what I think they might do? They might have the investor relations in the about Cognizant. So let's go there. And they have awards and accolades as well. Depending on how much they give us here, I might click on that. Let's see. We are AI builders. We build the bridge from AI investment to enterprise value by helping clients reimagine journeys and build a full stack enterprise grade AI solutions. The biggest brands people rely on every day rely on our people every day. So here's some stats. Annual revenue, employees worldwide, number 605 in Forbes Global 2000. Over the past 30 years, we've built relationships with marketing leading companies around the world. Okay, there's some more stats about the company. Transform experiences, reimagine processes, modernize technology. Our culture inspires us to live our values. Each member of our team take responsibility for creating a culture that enables exceptional outcomes. What we value, what we believe, who we are, how we behave. Connect with Cognizant. See, there's investors. They had it in the thing about the company. They also have careers in here. So let me see how quick awards and accolades are. Yeah, that ain't quick. So let's go back to about Cognizant. Let's go back there and go to careers. We're looking for the benefits, guys. Oh, they took us to another website. Blow it up. Bam, zoom in. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. It will help me out tremendously. And consider subscribing to the channel. Essential only. All right, so here we go. Welcome to Careers at Cognizant. I'm looking for the benefits, guys. How we hire. I love when companies break that down. Life at Cognizant, our culture, learning and development, global citizenship. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll over this and hopefully it'll pop up. And then we'll look at how they hire. It might be in there. We're great place to work. We're great place to work, certified. Got it. Cognizant career blog. Zoom through that or flip through that, whatever. A community where everyone can thrive. See our culture in action. Be in the driver's seat of your journey. Be a catalyst for change. Where are you in your career journey? A rewarding career awaits. So these are different positions they have open. Okay, let's go over here. No. All right, let's go up to the top. How we hire. I believe that's what I said. Yeah. Your path to Cognizant. Step 1, apply. So they're telling you the steps and how to prepare for the job for candidates. All right, guys, I don't want to spend no more. I need to wrap this show up. I don't see the benefits. Shouldn't be this hard to find. They make you work too hard. They're making you work before you get hired. They make you work before you get hired. Can I get hired before you make me work? How about that? Yeah, I don't see it. Purpose, our core values form the bedrock of our culture and define how we work together to serve our clients and each other. Work as one, our commitment to associate well-being. Here are the benefits, guys. Stumbled across it. They should have it labeled benefits. Okay. I don't even remember where we clicked. Our commitment to associate well-being, designed with flexibility in the mind to meet diverse needs of each associate. Our global Be Well program provides the physical, mental, and financial support needed to navigate life and work. So they don't even call it benefits. They call it Be Well program. Okay. All right. Our culture. And then where are the I'm ready for the investor, really. Give me the investor stuff now or else. That's what I want. Oh, investors. There we go. All right. And of course, they put us in another website. Zoom in. There's our 150. Here we go. Here's the stock information. Looking at the top. Yes. Okay. So we got it over here as well. Scroll over this page for some stats. Okay. Remember, links to the website are down in the description for your convenience. All right. Because I'm pretty much over this website at this point. Stock information. Okay. So here's the net price change, percentage change. Here's the stock quote, and there's the chart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there are some tools. Now, let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. Check that out. Yep, we're good. All right. So, Cognizant Technology Solutions Corporation, ticker CTSH. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage information technology consulting across the financial services, global healthcare, and enterprise software markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete digital transformation options, including cloud migration, engineering, and custom application development for large commercial enterprises. Number two, scalable business optimization products, including automated process management, data analytics, infrastructure, and core software implementation for corporate clients. And number three, optimized systems integration tailored for artificial intelligence deployment, legacy software modernization, and proactive cybersecurity monitoring. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, Oracle Corporation, ticker ORCL, and Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM. Got it. Now let's go to the charts. Here we go. Bam, bam. Yeah, we good. All right, charts. Now, here's the thing, guys. We never looked at this company before, so we doing our technicals from scratch. So we are looking at the 1 year daily chart. They trade on the NASDAQ, 52-week high of $87.03, 52-week low of $37.08. And the 52-week low was recent. That actually took place on June 30th. The 52-week high took place on January 14th. Ooh, and they have earnings coming up on July 29th. Got it. Okay, so let's go look at the 10-year weekly chart. It does go back to 2016. So they have a 10-year high of $93.47, 10-year low of $37.08, which is also the 52-week low. Guys, I was giggling because this is a nasty decline on the year. Okay, that's nasty. That's terrible, terrible decline in a short period of time. Okay. How short? We can look at that, but I know that hurt some people's feelings. Because here's the thing. Let me show you what I mean. So you see a steep decline over here. This was in 2022. So it started off, it got a little upside in 2022, and then boom, it pulls down, right? But then it has an uptrend over a span of like 2 years. So this is 2004. This is the beginning of 2023. That's what I'm seeing. Then this is like volatility. But it recovered, right? So if it started at the top of that box or near the top of that box, that zone that I just put there, and then by the end of the year, it came out above it. That's not what we want there. It came out above it, right? But it kind of stalled right here at that level. And then it just plummeted after that. That's the story that I'm seeing. Okay. That's nasty. Okay. So we're going to pull up two things and then we'll look for some price levels and get ready to wrap the show up. Because this is a mess. All right. Oh, let's just get it out the way. So what I want to see, we're going to zoom in, take me off the, no, we don't have to take me off the screen. I want to see what this percentage change is from this 10-year high to this 10-year low. Guys, that is a 60.33% decline in a matter of 1,561 days. We pull out the calculator. How many months is that? What was the time? 1561. 1561, divide that by 30. That's months. So I'm just rounding off by months. So about 52 months. 52 months. Got it. And then we divide that by 12. So about 4.33 years. Yeah. All right. But that took 4 years for that decline, right? But this is nasty because we said that was about 60%, 60% decline. But when we look at this one and we find the highest point, I believe it's the highest point right there. And we are looking at weekly candles right now. Guys, that's a 57%, 57.39%. So that's close to 60%, okay? But the time frame is drastically different. That was 168 days. That's less than a year. So you have 52 months. So that decline for 60% took 52 months, okay? But then when we get to this one, it was almost 60%, but it was 168 days. So 168 days divided by 30, that almost 60% decline took place in about 6 months. So when you factor in time, guys, we have to factor in time with this stuff. That's why I was like, it looked nasty. The time of that steep decline made that nastier compared to the other length of time that had to come down. That's what I meant by that. Like, that's a significant drop in a short period of time. All right, so we see that, and now we're looking for some levels. Come on, erase that. What's happening? Oh, that's not that tool. I'm tripping. That's my drawing tool. Remove that drawing and remove this drawing. Got it. So we're looking for some price levels. So since this week is all the way down here, we're looking for some price levels. We're looking for some historical price levels. So let's zoom out and let's see if we can find some. I see this and I see that. Yeah. Okay. Immediately I see one. So let me show you what I'm looking at. We can do this two ways. What I like to do is start from right to left. I'm not marking them from right to left. I'm looking from right to left. So I put the crosshairs there and then I start looking to my left to see if it's crossing certain things. So when I did that, I can see that when I go to the low of this candle, this green candle right here, it's a big green candle. I know it's small, but that big green candle touched on that price level and the wick on this red candle here. Okay. So you have 3 weeks here that came below that price level. And then this came lower than that over here. So we're going to take those drawings off. And then we're going to put another price level up here based off the low of this candle, because this was the previous 52-week low before this new one that happened. So now when we zoom in, we can see how the current price action responded to that price level from years ago. You see how this candle closed right on that price level of $40. And remember, those are 2 psychological price levels right there, or really close to it. We've been talking about that today. That's something new I want to start getting in you guys' toolbox to understand. So you got a psychological level of 45, and then you got a psychological level right here at 40. Those are those round numbers, and that's around areas of support and resistance. So those wicks came down and made the 52-week lows. And these are weekly candles, guys. We're still looking at the week. So this week that we looked at right here, let me do something. Yeah. This week right here, that wick, it closed right on that price level. So what was that close on that week? The close on that week was $40.03. So it closed 2 cents above that historical price level that we put on a chart from the previous 52-week low years ago in 2020. It closed 2 cents above it. So let's zoom back in. Okay. Then the following week, That wick came down, dipped even lower. It came down to 37.08 and is recovered. And now the most recent 2 weeks are holding above that $40.01. Okay. But it's still trading below this 9-week simple moving average and the 200-week simple moving average. Now, if I'm looking for a weekly area of resistance, we have that $45.33, and then I'm seeing this one. So let me undo that and let me get this to go here. Price level. I'm gonna use the wick of that green candle because that gets me 4 candles. We get the body of this one, the high of that one. So we get about 4 candles right there using that price level of $56.14. So that's the weekly area I'm seeing as resistance, as well as this price level of $47.85, which is going to be the 9-week simple moving average. I hope you can hear me because I leaned away from the camera, put me back on the screen. All right, so that's what I have for the weekly technicals with this company. Let's take that off the screen and then go ahead and go to the 1 year daily chart. Here we go. Now, it looks like it's a small gap there too, guys. See, this is why I like using the higher time frame, because we pretty much got this done already. But now we don't even have to worry about up here above 56.14. I am going to point this out to you though. Right here, matter of fact, let me zoom in because we got everything we need pretty much right here. Space this out just a little bit. Just want you to see this right here, guys. We have a gap. We have a gap. So I'm going to put it there. So we're going to use the rectangle tool, highlight that gap, turn it yellow, and then I'm going to extend it all the way over to December 1st. Now, here's the thing, guys. I want to move up a little. I want to move a little faster because we spent a lot of time. We almost had 2 hours. So what I would do, I'm just going to tell you, and then you get the idea. The high of this candle started to fill that gap. So since it started to fill that gap, what we would do, we would identify that that gap has not been filled yet by doing this. We put the price level right here at the low of that candle, which would also be the top of that gap. The bottom of the gap has started to be filled by that daily candle right there. The high of that daily candle is $57.65. We go into the properties. It was $57. This is how I do that, so I won't forget. $57.65. That's how I do it. Highlight that. $57.65. So this is how we fix that. So part of that gap has already started to be filled. So that gap is still present. That's what I want you to see. If this is your first time watching, I don't want to cheat you. So even though I didn't feel like doing it, I did it anyway. And that's why. I don't want to shortchange anybody if it's their first time watching. So here you go. That's your 200-day simple moving average. Here's your 9-day simple moving average. The price level for that is $65.98. And we have another gap. We have 2, is it 3? Oh man. All right. Let's just get to go. Let's just get busy. Boom. Gap. Edit. Yellow. December 1st. Got it. I'm not going to put those price levels there. I'll open this up so you can see it. Here's the bottom of the gap. Here's the high of the gap. Now, I believe, I'm zooming in so you can see it, that there's a gap between these two. High, low, yellow, December 1st. Bam. Then you have another gap here. High, low, yellow, December 1st. Got it. All right. Now I'm moving a little faster, but because those are gaps, they might be filled. They call those gap fills. So we have areas of resistance and support. I'll put this price level here quick because it'll be easy to do really quickly. I don't want to do the other ones because they're so close. It'd be easier to just put one So it'll be easier to see what those are. And I'm just putting it on the top of those levels. You see how this is so close to 40? You might as well just look at that like it's 40. But you still need to know that that's a gap that hasn't been filled yet, all right? So here's where the price level action is right now. That's today's candle. So it's trading above the 9-day simple moving average, but it's trading below the 200-day simple moving average. And it is creating some gaps as it's moving to the upside, even though this looking nasty on a long-term time frame when we looked at it from the 10-year weekly chart. And then they have earnings coming up, and their earnings are scheduled for July 29th. But it did get above that area of resistance at $42.50. Now we need to check the volume. Like, what is the volume looking like? So we'll talk about that as we go ahead and get this stock quote and get ready to wrap the show up. All right. So we go to the settings, floating data box, apply. Here we go. So ticker CTSH opened today at $45.50. They had a high of $44.12. They had a low of $42.50, and they closed today at $43.94, which was the trading range of $1.62. Now, the trading volume, they traded 10.6 million shares of this stock today. So now we're going to cut off the floating data box. We're going to take me off the screen, and we're going to look at what their average trading volume is in a daily trading session. Right here, their average trading volume is 6.2 million shares, and they traded 10.6. So that's definitely above average on this candle right here. How much above average? I'm glad you asked. We'll get to that in a second. You see this small body red candle that kind of looks like a doji. Here's the trading volume for that. It was above average as well, coming in at 9.9 million. So today's volume was higher than yesterday, but not by much. But here's the thing, even though that wasn't that much higher for this in particular stock, when we look at the volume rank percentile, today's volume was higher than 90.5% of the most recent 252 trading days volumes. Only 24 of those most recent 252 trading days had higher volume than today. So that's significant, guys. And it is been trading above the 9-day simple moving average for 4 days now. And this candle was the first candle to close above the high of the low day, which we're starting to talk about patterns. We want to start sharing that with you guys. CAHOLD, close above the high of the low day. So this is the low day, which was also the 52-week low of $37.08. And this candle closed above cleanly. It even opened above it. It opened above it and closed above it. And even the low didn't come down and touch that previous candle because you got the gap. So this pattern, guys, is actually a morning star, if I'm not mistaken. It's a morning star pattern, which is bullish when it appears at the bottom of a downtrend. Look it up. Fact check me. I put my book back on the shelf. I will look it up myself. I'll put it in the chat or in my notes when I look it up to make sure I told you guys what that pattern was correctly. Make sure that it's correct. But okay. All right. We did it. That's the show, guys. That is the show. So let's go ahead and take that off. Go here. We got that. Yeah. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, June 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's performance of the 11 sectors in the S&P 500 index, companies that stood out, notable market news, and performing a live Q&A so we can focus on building our community. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And the rest of the live streams that are coming up this week are already scheduled so you can get notified. Take care and God bless.